This episode contains adult themes and adult language. Listener discretion is strongly advised. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Bold and Beautiful podcast. I'm your host Amanda, and I've titled this week's episode, Stop the Torture. First, let me apologize for not putting an episode out last week. I don't want to sit here and make a bunch of excuses. I had some family things going on, I had some work things going on, and I also have another project that I'm working on. I'm going to be on another podcast, and I've been working on getting all of that done. I will tell you guys as soon as I can what I'm up to, but I cannot say just yet because we're still working out the logistics. Okay guys, let's move on. I don't have any news this week because all that I saw were spoilers, and you know I don't really like to do spoilers. But I do have a special shout out that I feel horrible about because I was supposed to shout this person out like 3 weeks ago, and things just kept happening, and then I had to pre-record, and it was just one thing after another, and then I forgot to do it. So now is the time. So thank you for being so patient. This is a special shout out to Chelsea S. from Facebook. And Chelsea says, am I having a fever dream or something? Wyatt and Flo have kissed how many times without Wyatt saying a word to Sally? But he wants to have a fit over her not telling him that Thomas is being a douche. Wyatt just stood there all rat-faced, letting Sally blame herself. 100% not cool. Wyatt is shady. So then I wrote Chelsea and I asked her opinion on what she thought about Sally moving out. She writes, I think she was trying to pull the he'll stop me move, and it backfired because Wyatt is already checked out. And I think Wyatt was just looking for an excuse to get out of the relationship. He emotionally and physically cheated on Sally. He is on his high loyalty horse right now. And it has pissed me all the way off. Me too, girl. I can't wait till his fantasy that Flo is so loyal is smashed. But knowing this show, he'll probably forgive her. He probably will. Next, I asked her opinion on the whole Bill and Katie thing. She writes, I agree with MK. He'll probably break her heart again. I think Bill is Steffi's baby daddy, and Katie is going to flip out. I wish that Bill would be Kelly's dad. I really do. I think that would be so awesomely juicy. And since I took so long to read Chelsea's comments, I wrote her and asked her if she had any new feelings on what's happening. And what she wrote back totally cracked me up. She writes, any new thoughts? I'm just mad. I'm mad Hope is being brainwashed. I'm mad Thomas is now trying to push Steffi to be with Liam. I'm mad rat-faced Wyatt is still flipping it all on Sally when he is a cheater. Flo makes me mad every time she gives her, oh, I feel so guilty face, but still doesn't fess up. But wow, Friday, wow. I hope Xander can get Zoe's head out of her butt. But knowing this show, my hopes are not high. So, long story short, I'm just mad and hate watching at the moment. feel free to use any of this or none of it. I don't mind. Thank you so much, Chelsea, for your comments. I love to hear what you guys think. It makes me feel better because sometimes I am in my head and I think, you know what? Am I overreacting? Am I missing something? I feel that I definitely am missing something, because anyone who wants Steffi with Liam when he's clearly in love with Hope, I don't get that. Okay? I'm still wanting someone to help me understand this. Thank you so much, Chelsea, for your comments. And next week, I have a surprise guest for all of you. So make sure that you listen to the podcast next week. Okay, guys, keep the comments coming. You can get in touch with me at theboldandbeautifulpodcast.com. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I normally don't like to bother you, but I've been told I need to say this, so I'm going to. If you use iTunes, please go on iTunes and give me a 5-star rating. It bumps the podcast up and helps it to be seen by other people. And if you have any friends who watch the show, please tell them about the podcast. I would really appreciate it. Now, enough with the chit chat. Let's get to the recap. I'm just going to be honest, guys. I am like Chelsea. I am pissed off. Okay? So, I'm going to give you a quick rundown what happened last week. I also made an I'm over it list that I can't wait to share with you guys. So, let's get into last week. Okay, I don't understand why someone doesn't get Hope some help, because the girl needs help. Basically, last week, Hope hounds Steffi. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Hope basically begged Steffi to take Liam back because it's the right thing to do for the girls. And Steffi is uncomfortable, to say the least. She really, really tries to talk some sense into Hope, and she just doesn't hear it. Then Hope is not happy because Steffi basically says, look, just because you're ending your marriage does not mean that I'm taking Liam back or that we're going to be together. I made my decision. This whole thing is crazy. Period. Right? So then Hope tries to guilt Steffi into taking Liam back using the kid card. It's so unhealthy. Okay? She clearly needs a counselor. She needs something. I felt so bad for Steffi last week because she's dealing with Hope, right? Then Ridge stops by and he tells her the same thing. She should listen to Hope and she should be with Liam and blah, blah, blah. No one cares about what Steffi wants or what Liam wants for that matter. So Ridge basically says, don't worry, Brooke will get over it. I only care about what's best for Steffi and Thomas. Excuse me? If you cared about what was best for Steffi and Thomas, you would not want them with two people who are in love with other people. Poor Steffi, she cannot get a break. Later in the week, Hope stops by again. This was ridiculous, okay? She stops by to ask Steffi if Liam can move in to the house with her and stay in the guest room. And Steffi is like, what in the hell? She's caught off guard. She doesn't really know what to say. And again, she tries to talk sense into Hope. That none of this makes sense. And it's obvious that Hope still thinks losing Beth is her fault. No matter how many times people tell her it's not. So Steffi basically just says, look, Liam's always welcome here. If he doesn't have anywhere else to stay, he's always welcome here. You know that. Then, once again, Steffi is bombarded. Now Thomas stops by with Douglas. And Douglas, of course, is missing his mommy. And it's sad, and I feel bad for him. I feel doubly bad for him because he has Thomas as a father. For crying out loud. How is that child gonna turn out? And of course, Thomas tells her he's in love with Hope. Steffi's shocked by this. And of course, Thomas tries to talk Steffi into taking Liam back. And I'm just like about to pull my hair out. I'm like, wow. I guess Steffi and Liam's feelings are completely irrelevant. Wyatt and Flo have a pool party for two at Eric's house. They finally have sex and they're both really happy about it. Not gonna lie, it was really hot for sure. They definitely have a chemistry. Then of course afterwards they have pillow talk because they always have pillow talk on this show. You know they do. And Wyatt gets a text and then they find out that Hope has decided to end the marriage. Flo, of course, gets really upset. Wyatt doesn't really understand what's going on. So she basically just plays it off. And he just assumes that it's about the adoption. Whatever. By the way, in the text that Liam wrote Wyatt, he asked him to please be discreet and keep it quiet. And the first thing he does is tell Flo. Nice, Wyatt. Real discreet. Ridge and Brooke have a discussion, and Ridge has lost his damn mind, okay? Because he has the nerve to tell Brooke he agrees with Thomas and Thomas's plan. Well, I can tell you this pisses Brooke right off. Right off. And I'm thinking, you're a dumbass, Ridge. So Brooke basically explains that if Thomas really loved Hope, he wouldn't be doing this. Because if Hope loses her marriage, it will break her. And I'm like, seriously, Ridge? Seriously? God. Liam confronts Thomas and basically tells him that he sees right through him and that Hope may love Douglas, but she will never love him. And I was like, yes, Liam. Thomas, of course, continues his disgusting behavior. Hope is at the cabin alone and she's a mess. She's crying her eyes out. And I'm like, please get this woman some help. This is ridiculous. And of course, Thomas stops by with Douglas. And, you know, Douglas tells Hope how much he loves her and he hugs her. And I'm like, okay, Thomas put him up to that. All right. That's obvious. So they leave. And a little while later, the creep, Thomas, shows back up. Uninvited. And Hope has already changed clothes, right? So now she's in her pajamas. And that would make me so angry. Don't come to my house uninvited. Okay, I'm in pajamas. So he comes in and he acts like he doesn't know what's going on. But we all know that's a lie because he talked to Liam earlier. So he acts like, oh, what's wrong? You know, he's going to be there for her. And she tells him that she's ending her marriage. And he acts all surprised because he's such a creep. And long story short, he is going on and on about how much he appreciates it and all this stuff. And then he grabs Hope and hugs her. And then he kisses her. Again. And once again, she pushes him away. And this time, she is not happy about it. She tells him real quick, the man that she loves and the man that she will always love is Liam. So, Brooke has a conversation with Liam, which I was wondering when this was going to happen. So, Brooke basically begs Liam to not give up on Hope and to realize that she is going to regret this. She is not thinking clearly, and she really wants Liam to hang in there and try to talk some sense into her. So, Liam begs Hope to reconsider her decision. And Hope tells him that losing Beth is just not fair. They have a sweet moment together and they both cry their eyes out. And it was the saddest thing I've seen in no, that's a lie. Because there's something sad every day. But it was sad, nonetheless. And Hope tries to explain that it's for the children again. And, poor Liam. This is killing him. So Hope and Liam decide they're going to spend one last night together. Almost like the Last Supper. Guys, are you seeing where I'm getting the name of the episode? Because watching this was torture. Liam wants to honor their marriage and make the most of their time together. And it was so hard to watch. They're talking about how much they love each other, how they're both the love of each other's lives. Liam's crying, Hope is crying, and he said he would do anything in the world to make her happy again. And it was just what is happening? Because I'm done. I've had enough. I can't take it anymore. Maya pops in and makes an appearance. And she tells Xander, Zoe, and Flo about Hope's decision to end her marriage. It's just a quick cameo. And everyone's upset, of course. So Xander leaves and Zoe and Flo are talking privately, or so they think. Guess what, guys? Cracking the door alert. Zoe and Flo are having their usual argument, the same one we've sat through 50,000 times the past, I don't even know how many months. Same thing over and over. Don't tell. I want to tell. I'm guilty. Hope needs the truth. Yada yada. What they don't realize is that Xander is listening through a crack in the door. And he hears everything. And now he knows the truth. He immediately confronts Zoe. And he is livid. He is horrified. He demands to know the truth. Zoe finally admits that Beth is alive. And then she explains everything to him. The whole story. Xander is shocked. He's disgusted. He's just completely freaked out. He cannot believe what he's hearing, and he cannot believe that Zoe would do this. And he tells her Hope needs to know. We have to tell her. And that's how Friday, May the 31st, that's how it ended, on a cliffhanger. What is Xander going to do? We're about to find out. Are you guys ready? Here's my over it list. I'm over Flo, Shauna, and Zoe. How many conversations with these three, especially the two, Flo and Zoe, how many conversations about their stupid pact do we have to sit through? Okay? Because I'm over it. Number 2, I'm over Thomas and his creepy plan. I need someone to tell Hope ASAP. Where in the hell is Sally? And why is she not speaking up? That bothers me. Number 3, I am over Hope putting the kids first crap. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't put your kids first. I put my dogs first, not gonna lie. If my dog needs something, I'll go without. I get that. But guess what? People co-parent kids together all the time. Okay? You don't have to be together to be good parents. It's 2019. What the F? Number 4. I'm over Ridge. Over him. Taylor's not even here, but I'm over her too. I'm over Ridge. What kind of parent would want their child with someone who's in love with someone else? And furthermore, what the hell? Does anyone remember that Ridge raised Hope? He has always loved her like a daughter. And then the new Ridge comes on the scene, and now Ridge treats Hope like he couldn't even care less. Like he barely knows her. Excuse me, sir, you raised her. Again, you don't have to be someone's biological father to be their father. I don't get it. And Ridge is stupid, okay? He's just stupid. You should have your wife's back and not necessarily be going against her and her daughter. Like, this can only lead to bad things. And 5, most of all, I'm over getting my hopes up that the truth will come out every other week. And then they get dashed. And I'm positive that Xander will find some reason to not tell Hope and Liam. That's my I'm over it list. There's more things, I'm sure, but that's what I thought in that moment when I was watching the show. Alright, let's get into this week. Monday, June the 3rd. The show opens at Forrester with Zoe and Xander. As you can imagine, Xander is pissed and in shock. He can't believe Zoe would do such a thing. And she insists that her dad was trying to protect her. Xander wants to know, how long have they known? And how could she do this to Hope? So she explains everything to Xander from her and Flo's point of view. And she did tell him that Flo is a victim in all of this. Of course, Zoe tries to convince Xander to keep his mouth shut. I'm sorry, but I can think of a million other options than the option Reese chose. Okay? Because Zoe's trying to make Xander feel bad for her dad almost. Like, have sympathy for Reese because he was protecting her and he had to do it or she would be hurt. But you know what? There's a lot of other options. I'm sorry. He could have got a loan. He could have went to a friend. He could have asked Hope and Liam and they probably would have given him the money. He could have went to Eric. Eric loves Zoe and he would have given him the money. Like, stop. Now we head over to Steffi's with Thomas and Steffi. And Thomas is making chit chat, blah, blah, blah. And then he starts his crap again about Steffi needing to be with Liam. And poor Steffi is getting annoyed because everyone keeps telling her what she needs to do. And Thomas is going on and on and on and on. And Steffi tells him about Hope wanting Liam to stay with her. And of course, he pressures Steffi to accept Liam with open arms because Thomas is a douche. So he leaves and Steffi starts daydreaming about her and Liam. And I'm like, no. Please no. You're only going to get hurt, Steffi, because he's literally telling Hope right now that she's the absolute love of his life. And that he'll never love anyone else like he loves her. So, no, Steffi. Now we head over to the cabin with Hope and Liam. And we're still being tortured. Okay? And they're having the Last Supper. And it was incredibly sad, incredibly depressing. Liam is very hurt, but he's not angry. He understands, but he doesn't agree. He gets why she's doing it and what she is trying to accomplish, but he doesn't agree with it. I was literally crying my eyes out. My husband was like, don't forget, this is not real. And I'm like, just be quiet, please. Right? So Hope wants Liam to stay with Steffi. And Liam is not happy about that. And he informs her he's probably going to stay with Wyatt. Then Liam tells her that they will always be a family. And they will always be connected for life. He knows that they are meant to be. And they say goodbye. And it was so hard to watch. She took her ring off again. And Liam was devastated. And that's how Monday ends. There was no episode Tuesday. It was preempted. So that brings us into Wednesday. And we have a Carter alert. You know I love Carter, and I was so happy to finally see him on the show again. So, the show opens at Steffi's house with Liam and Wyatt. And Liam is babysitting Phoebe for Steffi. He informs Wyatt that he really wishes Hope would change her mind because it's killing him. And Wyatt wants Liam to fight for his marriage, but Liam explains that he doesn't know what else to do except let her go. I love their brother relationship right now. Now we head over to Forrester Creations in the executive office with Hope and Carter. Hope is meeting with Carter to go over annulment papers. I was stunned. I'm not gonna lie. Holy crap. It's been less than a day. Someone, please, for the love of God, get Hope some help. Does no one see? This is totally irrational behavior. She's acting like Taylor. I hope she doesn't shoot someone next. Oh no, I hope not. So Hope wants the marriage over as soon as possible. And I love Carter because he tells Hope what we're all thinking. What in the hell? This should be your very last resort. You and Liam love each other, and I just don't understand. So Hope appreciates Carter's concern, but of course she's not hearing it as usual. And Carter is in the middle of talking, and guess who comes in? Thomas. He basically tells Carter to shut it and not question Hope's decision, and it was rude AF. He kept interrupting Carter, and I didn't like it. So Hope is really having a hard time signing the papers. She actually doesn't sign them, but she does send them with Carter to Steffi's to give to Liam. So she sends Carter to Steffi's house to give Liam the papers. I don't know why I didn't say it simple that way to begin with. Sorry. So Thomas goes on and on about how Hope is making the right decision and it's the right thing to do and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, shut up, you frickin' creep. So Carter goes to Steffi's and he feels horrible that he has to deliver the bad news to Liam. So he gives Liam the papers and Liam is shocked and downright devastated. It was so sad to watch. He knew she wanted to be separated, but I don't think he expected her to just boom in the marriage. So then Carter goes back to Forrester to let Hope know that he delivered the papers and that Liam was devastated. And he's sad and he just basically says, if you change your mind, all you have to do is give me a call. Then we head across the hall to the side office with Zoe and Flo. And they're both in a complete panic. They're in panic mode because they don't know what Xander is going to do. And then Xander walks in and he shuts the door. And Zoe has the nerve to ask him if he's alright. This scene was amazing. I loved it. So he walks in and he asks her, "Are you serious?" "No, I'm not alright." Then he actually yells at them, both of them. And he basically says, "I won't be alright until the secret is no longer a secret." And of course, Zoe and Flo are trying to guilt Xander into keeping quiet by telling him that they'll go to jail. Oh well, bitches, you should have thought of that before. Okay? You should have thought of that. So then Pam comes in and she tells Zoe, "Look, people are looking for you. The photographer's looking for you. You need to go." And she doesn't want to leave because she doesn't know what's going to happen. So she leaves finally. And Xander's like, "I want to talk to Flo. Go on." So he just tells Flo how it is, just straight up. "I'm not judging you, but you know what has to be done. Because this is cruel and inhumane." And I'm like, yes! He basically told them, and especially Flo, everything that we've all been wanting to say. So Xander tries to reason with Flo and convince her to do the right thing. Because if she doesn't, he will. And that's how Wednesday ends. I'll be honest, I have not been a huge Xander or Zoe fan. Or any of the interns, really. It's just simply because they kind of been getting on my nerves. But in this moment, in this week, I really loved Xander. At least for a while. So that brings us into Thursday. The show opens at Forrester with Flo and Xander, and they're continuing their convo. Xander is desperately trying to convince Flo to tell the truth. He tells her that telling Hope the truth is just the right thing to do. He has her convinced that this cannot go on any longer. How can they be so cruel and watch Hope and Liam suffer? So he has Flo convinced to do the right thing. And guess who walks in? Zoe. She's determined to stop both of them. So they're arguing. They start arguing about what to do, and they're telling him they're going to go to jail, and it's just a mess. I really loved Xander in this moment because he said what we've all been thinking and what I've been saying. He says, "Look, Hope and Liam will not press charges because Flo is family now. And once you explain everything, they'll understand that Flo and Zoe, both of you, are Reese's victims." And then Carter walks in and they learn about the annulment. Well, this really upsets Xander. And Zoe starts again, "No, oh, Xander, you're supposed to love me and blah, blah, blah." And she's basically trying to protect her dad because she brings her dad up and she don't want her dad to go to jail. And poor Xander, he is losing it. He's like, your dad deserves to go to jail. So then he leaves Zoe and Flo alone because they want to talk in private. And of course, Zoe reminds Flo about the stupid damn pact that they made and how she needs to keep her trap shut. SOS, the same old you know what. Now we head over to Brooke's house with Brooke and Hope. And Brooke is trying so hard to convince Hope to stop this annulment. It's just madness. But as usual, Hope is not hearing it. And they're waiting for Liam to get there to sign the papers together. And I'm like, I just can't take this anymore. Right? I'm going to put this on my over it list. Because I can't take anymore. And just when I think that I can't get any madder, we head to Steffi's house. And Liam is really, really sad and upset. He's looking at the papers and he's just gutted. And guess who shows up? Thomas, the creep. And Thomas has the nerve to tell Liam that he needs to sign the papers today and make this less hard for Hope. You know what? F you, Thomas. Okay? I got a big middle finger up right now, especially for Thomas. So Liam sees right through Thomas's crap. And he says, you're an opportunist. And you are using your son to get to Hope. I'm not stupid. And Liam says, let me tell you this. You are not going to use the kids to take advantage of Hope anymore. If only that were true. So, you know what? Just when you think Thomas can't get any worse, he does. So Thomas leaves, right? And he beats Liam to Brooke's house. And he goes upstairs. And of course, he hides so he can spy on them. So Liam arrives. And they are both, Liam and Hope are just complete wrecks. They're both crying. They both don't want to do this. It's just ridiculous. So Liam is completely heartbroken. And he doesn't want to let her go. And Hope admits she doesn't want to do this. And I'm like, then don't do it. Just don't do it then. Right as they are about to sign the papers, Xander busts through the front door and yells, "No, stop. I can't let you do that." And that's how Thursday ends. So that brings us into Friday, June the 7th. The show opens at Brooke's house. Xander is trying to stop the annulment. And he's like, look, you can't do this. Once you hear what I have to say, it will change everything. And creepy Thomas somehow gets from upstairs to outside. And he sets Xander's car alarm off. And it's really loud. And so Xander's trying to talk to Hope and Liam. And Liam's like, Xander, dude, I can't hear what you're saying. Just go turn the alarm off and come back. It's no big deal. So Xander runs outside to turn off the alarm. And of course, he's intercepted by Crazy Eyes. Okay? Thomas warns Xander that he's not going back in that house. He's done. And I'm like, I hate Thomas so much. Who the hell does he think he is? So Thomas won't allow it, right? He's not going to allow Xander back in the house. So Xander tries to get around him and he won't let him. Then he has the nerve to threaten to fire Xander if he doesn't leave. And Xander's like, look, Hope won't be happy when she finds out that you're the one who stopped me from telling her. If she knew that flow, and then he stops the sentence, and Thomas is like, tell me right now. You tell me right now. What do you know? And Xander's like, I don't trust you. Why should I trust you? And Xander is so smart because he knows not to trust Thomas. And he's like, I promise you, Hope is going to be mad when she finds out, and she will find out. So Xander leaves. The creep won. So Carter goes outside and he realizes that Xander left, which they all find is really weird. And again, the creep won. They sign the papers. And Thomas is so happy with himself. Now we head over to Forrester with Zoe and Flo. Once again, we have to sit through another argument where Zoe warns Flo to keep her mouth shut. They made a pact, whatever. Flo cries about how guilty she is, and I'm done. I'm done, guys. Enough. I refuse to write this down again. Sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to write this down again. It's the same exact conversation that they've had a million times. Flo tries again to explain to Zoe that she can't live with this forever. And she begs Zoe to at least think about telling the truth. And then Flo leaves. And a little while later, Xander returns. And he tells Zoe that he went to Brooks to stop the annulment. And she totally freaks out. Back at Brooks, Hope and Liam are a complete mess. And it was absolute torture to watch. Liam is looking at her. They're both crying. And he says, I can't say goodbye. And he kisses her forehead. And then he leaves. And Hope is so devastated. She's crying so hard. Liam is devastated. Hope's devastated. I'm devastated. She's crying so hard that she sinks down to the floor. And that was it. That was just it for me. Like, I was crying like I just can't. I have actually been in tears before like that, where I literally just fell to the ground. So it just killed me to watch this. Now we head over to Eric's house. Thomas's craziness and his absolute just hatefulness knows no bounds, guys. None at all. So over at Eric's, Flo has arrived there. She's arrived home and she's struggling with her guilt as usual. And Thomas walks in and slams the door. And he wants to know what Xander wanted to tell Hope today. And I'm like, please, Flo, please. No matter what, whatever you do, don't tell him, please. Because he's a snake. Then he basically berates her for trying to mess with Hope's mind. Oh, but it's okay for him to do it, right? He's like, why would y'all mess with her mind and bring up Beth? This is ridiculous. You're only gonna hurt her. Oh, because he's the only one that can mess with Hope's mind, see? He actually gets in Flo's face and he yells at her. You could literally see, as he's yelling at her, his breath hitting her face and moving her hair. Okay? I don't think so, bitch. I do not think so. Back it up. Take a couple steps back. No, I don't play that. So basically Thomas scares her and she blurts it out. She just blurts out, Beth is alive. And Thomas is in shock. And that's how Friday ends, on a cliffhanger. A good cliffhanger too. So let's break this down and analyze it. Don't get your hopes up, okay? I refuse to get my hopes up and then have them dashed over and over and over. Because this has happened so many times that it's no longer even really that exciting. Like, it's like, the boy who cried wolf and then no one believes him anymore. That's kind of how this is. At first, it was super exciting because you're like, it's going to come out this week. It's going to come out next week. It's going to come out in, the next week. And now it's like, whatever. Like, you're dragging this so much, whatever. I'm not getting my hopes up, that's for sure. Next, let's talk about Xander. I absolutely loved Xander this week. He told Zoe and Flo everything that we all wish we could tell them. But I did hate the fact that he let Thomas intimidate him. He should have just said, you know what, fire me then, because this is important. Or he could have just played along and pretended to leave and then snuck back in. Come on, Xander, have some balls. But having said that, I am very proud of Xander for standing his ground and saying, you know what, I do love you, Zoe, but this is wrong. It's inhumane. Good job, Xander. Okay, I know I said this earlier, but if I have to sit through one more argument between Flo and Zoe, I literally might lose it. Like, I might lose it just like Hope. Hope has lost it, and I'm gonna lose it too. I mean, how many times do they have to have the same argument? Let's talk about Liam for a second. Why is Liam letting Thomas win? That's what I want to know. If I were Liam, I would have searched. I would have grilled Sally. I would have done everything in my power to find some kind of dirt or proof on his ass, so I could save Hope and say, look, this dude is bad news. You can love his son all you want. I don't care. You can adopt him if you want. But no, Thomas is no good. Next, let's talk about Steffi for a second. I feel so sorry for Steffi because everyone keeps telling her what she should do, what she needs to do. And it's ridiculous. I mean, really, she's a grown-ass woman, okay? She does not want to get hurt. Again, it is known, guys, like, it is known that Liam and Hope are the love of each other's lives. He's said it over and over. I'm sorry, but I don't want Steffi to be someone's second choice. Okay? Because she doesn't deserve that. Hell no, she doesn't. She deserves to have someone who actually loves her and only her. Period. I really hate to bring you guys down, but my prediction is that Thomas is going to find a way, no matter how horrible it is, to keep Xander quiet. I would not put anything past Thomas. I feel like Thomas would knock Xander in the head and kidnap him and hold him to keep him quiet. I think he might even kill Xander just to get his way. The thing that he doesn't realize is that more than just a few people know at this point. So if Xander goes missing, it's not going to take Flo and Zoe very long to figure it out. Same as if Flo goes missing or as if Zoe goes missing. Like, it's not going to be that hard to figure out what's going on. Now Xander knows that Thomas has bad intentions and that he is no good. That he's purposely trying to keep Hope from finding out anything. So I am hoping that somehow Xander can get away from Thomas and tell Hope the truth. But, again, my prediction is that it's not going to happen. Thomas is going to stop it. It's not going to happen. So don't get your hopes up. Sorry, guys. I don't want to end the episode on such a bad note. So I will say that Xander did a good job this week. Was really happy with him. I'm really happy Steffi's back. And I hope at some point Sally comes back, because Sally is the key. I think what some people may have forgotten, because I didn't think of it until recently, Sally knows Thomas's plan. She knows that he lied. She knows that he manufactured stuff. So if she just went and told Liam the whole story, Liam would start putting two and two together. I don't get why she hasn't done that already. That makes me suspicious. Why in the world is she keeping this secret for Thomas? Why? She claims she's in love with Wyatt. She claims she's over Thomas. So why is she keeping it a secret? Alright, guys, that brings us to the end of the episode. Don't forget to get in touch with me. I'll put the links in the show notes. I am dying to hear what you guys think about what is happening this week. I hope you guys have a great week and a great weekend. Next week, I will definitely be back. I know I said that last week. Sorry about that. But I'll definitely be back this week because I have a special guest who's going to be on the show. I'm super excited. She is a super fan of The Bold and the Beautiful. It will be a lot of fun. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the podcast. I love you guys. I'll be back in your ears next week. Until then, bye guys.